In 2009, I started composing music under my pen name, Charlotte Peggy Swan. In around 2011 or 12, I started writing this piece for my niece, Lila. It is called Lila's Song.
Ruth has always shown a talent in music, but her progress was sketchy. She did playing and theory exams, but never scored more than 75%. Now she's creating music, not just single notes. Her last exams were 84% in playing and 93% in theory. Her compositions are different. When she was starting out, she never notated anything, and the music wasn't very happy. Now she has lovely music, and she's getting it noted. Ruth has a future now. She can finish her education and is free to choose what her life's work will be. She never had that freedom before Mendability. We tried brain gym, we tried diet, we tried patterning, we did OT and PT and sensory integration therapy. None of them had the dramatic and permanent effect that Mendability has. I remember when I realized that all the diagnoses we'd got for Ruth were inaccurate, or at least incomplete. She and I took a train trip from Buffalo, New York to Kingman, Arizona. It was a trip I'd taken years before she was born with her siblings. Well, the trip was just short of a disaster. She was so stressed by the time we got there that one of my sisters, who worked as a liaison between the state government and kids on the spectrum, suggested that Ruth was autistic. We'd considered that over the years, but never got any support from the professionals that Ruth saw. A speech pathologist had said she was dyspraxic when she was quite young. Around the age of 8, we got a diagnosis of developmental coordination disorder, and at 11, she was called nonverbal learning disabled. We finally saw the last doctor who gave us a diagnosis of Asperger syndrome. So now Ruth had a diagnosis that qualified her for a disability pension, which was a great safety net, but we didn't want her consigned to a shadow life, so I continued reading everything I could find. One day, an ad for Mendability popped up on my Facebook. Now, like most parents of kids who have special needs, I was pretty skeptical. I did a lot of research, and I remember emailing Dr. Leon about his research and asking about the Canadian group he referred to in a video I'd watched. He referred us to Mendability, and the rest, as they say, is history.
We used to live in a 3-story townhouse. The bedrooms were on the 3rd floor. I hated going to bed. I was convinced that people would climb up the outside wall and break into my window, tear off the screen, go into my bedroom, and kill me in bed. Or at least kidnap me and torture me, which is ridiculous. I used to always have to have a support worker with me for doing things like shopping, going out to the movies, going out for fun, even staying at home.
We used to worry about you.
Yes.
All the time. And now there's so many things that my husband and I don't worry about for Ruth. She went, after about 7 months on the program, she went away for a week to karate camp this summer. And we didn't worry about what might happen to hurt her or someone else, or what would happen to embarrass her. She cooks meals now, and I don't have to worry about kitchen fires. She takes responsibility for herself. She dresses faster, she sleeps better, her eating and digestion are better. Her coordination affected her speech. And now she notices at church when people aren't there to do the readings and volunteers. She's sometimes volunteered with very little notice. In fact, one time, the opening hymn was being announced, and she stepped up to do the job. Our church seats about 1,000. She handles it like a pro.
and babies. I've always loved them. But I couldn't even take care of myself, and certainly couldn't even take care of other people's children, like my nieces and nephews. I couldn't even hold my baby nieces and nephews without them getting stressed out and fussy. We were doing Mendability for about 3 months when I could actually hold a baby for the very first time without him getting fussy or stressed out. I was so overjoyed, I almost cried.
Do you remember you held him until your arms got tired? You held him for about 20 minutes, and that has never happened.